Hello and welcome. You are listening to the Gay with God podcast, a safe place for us to share our stories and support one another. How long did we know? What challenges did we face? Did we lose our faith? When did we find our way back home? Or are we still searching? The stories you hear on this podcast will melt your heart and strengthen your belief that in God, all things are possible, and you can be authentically gay with the God of your understanding. I am your host, Midge Noble, and I am very honored that you are here. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Gay with God podcast. And today I want to welcome you to my Happy Holy Union Day. So the story of the love of my life started back in 1983. And in 1983, I went to graduate school and I met the love of my life. And as most of you know, it took me 7 years to claim it and to name it. And those were the longest 7 years of my entire life. And then on this particular day, October 14th, 1995, we made it as official as we could back then with having a holy union. We were not allowed to have a legal marriage because the state of North Carolina and many states back in 1995 were saying absolutely not, no way. So today, to go down memory lane a little bit, I'm going to read a selection from my memoir, Gay with God, Reclaiming My Faith, Honoring My Story, where the love story all began. And then I'm going to talk for just a minute about how I'm claiming love now and give you a little update. I was reading in the study room at the counselor education office when I stood up and noticed a girl sitting on the couch out in the lobby. She had on blue jeans and a maroon sweatshirt with gray sleeves. Her hair was short and she was wearing one sneaker. Her right foot and ankle were in a cast, and crutches were leaning against the couch. I walked out and said, "Hi, I'm Midge. I'm Mary." As a side note, she will tell you now that she had definitely checked me out while I was reading. She remembers me wearing bright yellow shorts, sandals, and a multicolored short-sleeved shirt. "Do you need any help?" I asked, assuming she was a student who needed to see an advisor. "No, I actually work here." "Oh, cool. So do I. I'm on the school counseling track. I'm focusing on mental health counseling. We may be in some classes together." "We probably will." "What happened to your ankle?" "I had to have surgery because of a softball injury." "Ouch." "It's okay. I should be out of the cast soon." "I was just headed out to register for classes. I'm sure it will be a little busier than where I went." "Where was that?" "Berkshire Christian College in Lenox, Massachusetts. We only had about 140 students." "Wow." "I was an undergrad here, so I'm familiar with the setup. I'd be glad to go with you and help you out." "Oh, no, that's not necessary. With your foot, you need to stay put. I get myself around campus all the time. I'm happy to help." "Thank you, but I'll be fine. I'll probably see you later." "Okay, good luck." I could have stayed there and talked to Mary forever. I really loved the idea of her walking with me to the gym so we could talk some more. I experienced an instant connection with her, which kind of rattled me. However, after everything that I had been through with Kay, I was not ready to get too close to anyone. I walked down toward the gym, thinking the whole time about how much I wished that I were still talking to Mary and getting to know her better. When I reached the gym, I followed a crowd down the steps to the very lowest section. The door opened to a massive floor with tables and people everywhere. I had absolutely no idea what to do or where to start. I got into the wrong line and I was told I needed a photo ID to register for any classes. As I was trying to find out where to go for that, I saw Mary coming toward me on her crutches. "Hey," she said, "how's it going?" "It's a lot different." "What have you signed up for?" "Nothing. I have to get registered and get a photo ID first." "Do you know where it is?" "Not yet." "Come on. I did it yesterday, so I can show you." I felt immediate relief and instantly knew that I was in good hands. The next day, I again saw Mary at the counselor education office. She told me about her dog SHEBA, a small shepherd mix she had rescued one winter on a walk down a snow-covered road in Boone, North Carolina. I talked about always wanting a Labrador Retriever, but never being able to get one. Mary told me about her roommate's dog Jojo, who tore up everything. Spending time with Mary was so easy. It was like we had known each other before and were falling back into conversation as if we had never been separated. Mary also had the gift of really seeing me, more than I ever saw myself. She could also see that my bravado was a mask for anxiety and uncertainty, and she was very diligent at holding me accountable for the answers I gave her. If she got a hint that I was using the fine word, feelings inside not expressed, she would patiently encourage me to find a specific feeling. The more we talked, the deeper our connection became. We were virtually inseparable, except for when we went to our respective houses to sleep. The day I met Mary's roommate validated what I had guessed. She walked into the office where I was working and stood in front of the desk. "May I help you?" I asked. "I'm looking for Mary." "Mary Anderson? Are you Midge?" "Yes, how did you know that?" "I'm Mary's roommate, Shelby." "Oh," I said, and then took a closer look. Shelby had short, dark black hair in a bobbed cut. She was wearing a red flannel shirt, wide belt, and jeans, was short, and had a great smile. "I haven't seen Mary lately. I'm not sure when she'll be back." Smiling that big smile again, she said, "No problem. She's probably at home, so I'll catch up with her there. You should come to supper one night." "Oh," I said, "well, that would be nice." And off she went. I thought to myself, she must be gay. I had read that gay women wear flannel and wide belts. Yes, y'all, I know how this sounds. And I had thought Mary might be gay when I first met her, but I kept putting it out of my mind. I didn't want to get in the middle of Mary and her roommate, so at this point I wasn't sure if I should go to dinner with them if they invited me. As if weren't enough pressure, I hadn't told Mary that I was bulimorexic. It was easier to meet for coffee or go for hikes instead of real meals. The next day, Mary came into the study room and asked me to come to dinner. I started to make an excuse, but then she said, "It will just be you and me. My roommate is going out of town." "Oh, well, if she wouldn't mind," I stammered, "that would be great." I wasn't at the point where I could just say no. "How about tonight?" she asked. "Sure. Let me call my uncle and just let him know." "Okay, I'll wait in the office." This began the longest drive I have ever had in my life. We headed out of Boone and drove for what seemed like forever, making twists and turns and going higher and higher up the mountain. I was having a conversation with Mary while my brain was in overdrive, thinking, what if she really is gay? Is she going to want to have sex with me? Where is she taking me? Are we still in North Carolina? I could never find my way back to campus. Oh my God, this is what the youth leader warned us about. Homosexuals will get you alone, and the only thing that they care about is having sex. Then I would try to reel my brain back in and remind myself Mary is really nice and she's a very caring and thoughtful person. She would never mistreat me. I really like her and I enjoy her company, but where in the hell are we going? Finally, we made it up this very long, steep gravel road to a little wooden house with a basement apartment below. There wasn't another soul anywhere around. I heard a dog bark, and Mary remarked, "That's Sheba. She has some trouble trusting people." Mary went into the apartment first and greeted Sheba, who came up and sat in front of me as I came inside. Wanting to make a good impression, I immediately bent over to say hello to Sheba, and in return she growled and snapped at me, almost biting my nose. "Wow!" I exclaimed. "Sheba!" Mary called and gave her the no correction, and then addressed me. "Like I said, she's been abused and isn't quick to trust anyone. Are you okay?" "Got it," I said. "My fault." The apartment was very small. The kitchen, dinette table, and living area were all in one long rectangular room. A bathroom was right past the dinette table, and a bedroom was off the room next to a daybed. Cozy. The apartment also had a freestanding wood stove next to the daybed on one side of the wall and a coffee table, TV, and another chair across the room. Mary started up the grill. She had chosen steaks to grill with some vegetables, and she offered me a beer, which I gladly took. Our conversation flowed with ease, and I was having the best time. Even Sheba seemed to warm up to me. Following dinner, I excused myself to the bathroom. As you recall, it was right off the main room. Have you ever thrown up quietly? I had a technique that I thought was great, but I learned later, not all the time. When I came out, Mary never said a word, and I figured I had pulled it off. Dinner was really great. Thanks for having me. I said, I guess I need to get back, though. You're welcome. I hope you'll come again. I know Shelby was wanting you to come. Yeah, sure, I would love to. Mary drove me back down that long road to my car in the campus parking lot. This would be the first of many evenings I spent with Mary. I planned to bring my car from then on so that Mary wouldn't have to drive me back. As it turned out, there would be a day that I didn't need to drive back after dinner. So Mary and I continued to live together all through graduate school. And then, even after we graduated, we went on a very long trip for about a month as a graduation gift from her father to go out and see her aunts who lived together 40 years, never married. Just friends. Okay. So we saw them in California and did a lot of sightseeing there, and then went up to Washington State where her grandparents lived and had a wonderful week with them. It was absolutely glorious. And then traveled back. So we went, out through the southern route and then up through the northern states, and it was just amazing for an entire month. And then when I came back, I had received an offer to come in for a interview to be a school counselor in Elkin, North Carolina. And during that time where I got hired for that job and was living in Elkin City, um, my wife, who is not really Mary, she wanted a pseudonym for the book, but my wife was looking for a job and living in Cary with her mother. So she would come up every weekend to my house to stay with me and Danny and Sheba. You'll learn about Danny in the book if you read the memoir. So I got a dog, Danny, and she still had Sheba, and they were the best of friends because I got her while I was at Appalachian State at graduate school, and so they were devastated when we had to live apart for that amount of time, and um, so we would get together every weekend, either her coming up to Elkin or I would go down to see her at her mom's house. So we were pretty much still inseparable as far as miles go. We talked every night on the phone. We saw each other every weekend if possible, and most of those weekends were possible because we made it so. And then it was really hard when we didn't get to see each other on a weekend. So we were together through all of that time. And then finally, she did get a job in Asheboro, and so that made the trip a whole lot easier for both of us. And so I would come down to her house on the weekend sometimes, or she would come up to Elkin. And we just continued to be pretty much inseparable. Holidays, even though I would spend time with my family, I would always make it to her house during the afternoon of those holidays to make sure that we were together. And then one year for Christmas, we actually went up to, or I think maybe it was New Year's. I can't remember, Christmas or New Year's, but it was during the winter time over a holiday, and we went up to see her grandparents, and we spent that holiday with them together, and so that was really super cool as well. So during all of that, I didn't know. And the sad thing is that it never should have come to that. If the LGBTQIA plus community had legal rights always, not at the whim of a president who comes in and that can take away rights or add rights. And as we've learned this past year, even if it's a law like Roe versus Wade, we are not for sure how that's going to work out for us. in the long run. Yes, there are states that say that you can marry legally. Well, what if my state, which is normally they call it kind of a purple state, that we always usually vote red, but every once in a while we get closer to blue, and so they kind of call us a purple state. But anyway, it's not for sure that our state would continue to honor a marriage by a gay couple. So, what if in this upcoming election of 2024, we find ourselves with a leader in office that wants to wipe out gay marriage? I don't even know what that would look like. I don't know if our marriage would be grandmothered in, or if our marriage would be annulled or taken away, and all of our legal protections under being married would also go away. I have no idea. Now, the thing that I know for sure is that we will still be married. We had our holy union, and then we got legally married when it became legal in North Carolina, and that happened in 2014. So we are legally, in the eyes of the law, married. And it just rocks my world to think that we have come this far, being able to be married in the state where I was born in, and that Sue has called her home since she was like 12 years old. So we have rooted here, and we have a life here. We have friends here. We have people here. And I would hate to think that with everything we've been through as a couple, that a person that has no compassion toward our community, the LGBTQI plus community, could be in office and mess not only our marriage up, but mess up so much more as far as any marginalized people in our country. So when I talk about my holy union and my ultimate marriage, it's all centered in love. It doesn't mean that life has been perfect for us, because it's not perfect for anybody. We still have our trials, and we still have our bad days, and hopefully we don't have a bad day on the same day. We have always been the one that I describe as back to back, because we're back to back because we're looking out for any adversaries, and we've got each other. And then as I was writing the memoir, I thought, well, we have always been back to back, but we've done that actually the opposite way, front to front, because we are so much in love, and we have hugged each other throughout all of the trauma that we've been through while watching each other's back. So it's the same thing. We're still looking out for each other, but I feel the love that connects and binds us always. And so the image of us hugging each other while we're watching each other's back makes it just more perfect in my eyes, because I think that's what we've always done. Whether it's been through family issues with our external families, if it's been through, you know, governmental issues, if it's been through job issues, we've always been there for each other. And I know that we always will. I don't think that the government will ever understand how deep and abiding the love is between couples, whether they're gay or straight, when their souls are connected. You can't measure that. You can't measure soul love. But when you feel it, when you know that your soul's connected, government can't take that. And so, no matter what happens in this election, although I will hate it with every ounce of my being if he gets elected, but no matter what, they can take away the legal status if that's what happens, and I can't do anything about it, but I will always be married to my beloved, and I will always share that soul connection with her through life and through death. And I think, and I told her this the other day, that I really believe that we have always had a relationship, not just in this life. I feel that we have recycled our love for generations. That's how close we are. And so I have no qualms about whether or not we will still be together. We absolutely will. However, I don't want to lose my marital status. I don't want to lose my safety protections in society. I don't want to be ruled by a dictator. I don't want somebody who doesn't care a flip about anybody else but themselves. And all the ugliness that has gone on since he was put into office the first time, and hopefully for the last time, I don't need that. I don't need that ugliness in my life. I don't need it in my country. I don't want it in my state. I don't want any leader to have that much vitriol, disgust for people who love each other, for people who are just trying to live their lives, for people who are coming to this country to save their lives or to get a better life. I do not want that ugliness around me. So I do pray every day that I'll be able to endure whatever changes are coming our way. But I hope that as a community, that the majority of our LGBTQI plus community will know what they're going to lose if they vote red this year. And probably for years to come, because I don't believe that the Christian nationalism that is fueling this horror Shatola show, I don't think that they're going to stop. They have the entire Project 2025 manual ready to go, and they don't care if it's Trump. They're going to, J.D. Vance stepped up and he drank the Kool-Aid and he's going to be right there. So I don't think that they're going to stop this agenda. They're just going to keep putting a new face on it. And they've had to endure Trump, but they will have the slicker, better speaking, more believable candidate next time. So we are not out of the woods, and we won't be out of the woods for a very, very long time. Actually, I think, and I'm not a politician, but I think that they will continue to be a threat until the Republican Party takes the Republican Party back. Because the Republican Party is not running the Republican Party. The Christian nationalists are running the Republican Party. The real people who have been Republicans for a very long time that know what it means to be decent people separate from their agenda, the people pushing the Project 2025 agenda, the Christian nationalists, are making sure that they get the people who are decent Republicans out of office and put in their loyalists so they can continue to push this agenda. And it's happening in every state, it's happening across the country, and it's actually already happened. So we have to be very aware and very intelligent when it comes to choosing our candidates. We need to listen in between the lines. We need to pay attention to what they're for and what they're against. And I believe they're going to get even slicker about this, and it's going to be harder and harder to tell who they are. But we need to pay attention because sooner or later, they are going to put somebody in office if we don't continue to be vigilant. And whoever they put in there will change our Constitution and how we live our lives in America completely. And if you don't think that can ever happen, start reading again about Germany and what Hitler did, because they are taking a lot of what they're doing out of the Hitler playbook. So do your research, read something, read how Germany got taken over by Hitler, and you're going to see a lot of similarities in how they're running Trump's campaign. But until then, that's my that's my very lengthy PSA. But until then, I am having my Happy Holy Union Day, and I'm spending it with my beloved, who absolutely still loves me as much as I love her. And as life would have it, we're actually spending the day together. So I'm thrilled about that part, at least. And I hope that you find the love of your life. And I got great news this past weekend that one of my dear friends that is a dear friend now and has known me for several years and found me through this podcast and through the work that I do with Gay with God. And that person just got engaged. So congratulations again to my dear friend, and I'm so excited and happy for you, and I'm so happy that the connection that we made was something that was so positive for you that you were able to look for and find the love of your life. So everybody can have a happy Holy Union Day on me. Go out there, find the love of your life, commit spiritually to that love as we did back in 1995. And when you make it official, please know that I am applauding you and I am celebrating you for being authentically you, for loving the way you desire to love and to be in relationship with people that light you up inside. I hope that you continue to love big. I hope that you get that love returned. And I hope that we will always have the right to choose the life partner, the husband, the wife that we choose because it's legal in our country and because it is something that we deserve. So I want to thank you for honoring me with your presence today. I want to thank you so much for supporting, sharing, and subscribing wherever you get your podcast to this Gay with God podcast. And if you want to see more information and links to connect with me, go to the Gay with God show page at empoweredmidge.podbean.com or visit my website, gaywithgod.com, and connect with me there. If you have a specific question that you want to ask me, you can email me at empoweredmidge@gmail.com. Also, check out my Facebook group, Gay with God, where we do a monthly Zoom group entitled My Faith Journey. We have a wonderful time having a conversation about many things. Sometimes it's just supporting each other, and sometimes we have a specific theme for the week. But please join us, and that's Gay with God on Facebook, and look for the links to My Faith Journey. We do that once a month. So, my beloveds, if you are listening to this podcast and are questioning whether you can be gay and be in a relationship with the God of your understanding, if you identify as LGBTQIA+, or not even sure if you're gay, God has always been within you, even when you didn't know it. You have always been gay with God. Thank you, everybody. Stay tuned to see how you can join the Gay with God community. And as always, you are loved. I want to invite you to become a part of the Gay with God community. How can you do that? Stay connected by messaging me your thoughts and comments in the comment section under the downloads of the show on the Gay with God show page. Subscribe to this podcast wherever you listen and share so we can increase our community outreach and be a light to those who are struggling to claim their faith. Consider being a sponsor so I can highlight your service in our community. We are all worthy of respect and a relationship with the God of our understanding. I want to thank you in advance for supporting this podcast. Together, we as a community will keep this show visible and our community stronger. Deep gratitude to my friend Tim McClendon of Tim McClendon Music for allowing me to use an excerpt from Interlude 4, a song found on his CD entitled Sundance.